only winning control of Congress for 5 of the last 15 sessions. And it is puzzling that there are so many purple and even blue states like Pennsylvania, where citizens routinely elect Democratic senators, governors, and attorney general, but where Democrats have had little chance of winning a majority of the congressional delegation or state legislature. For many frustrated Democrats, the explanation is simple: partisan gerrymandering. Republicans gained control of many state legislatures in time for the most recent round of redistricting in the early 2010s. Then drew odd-shaped boundaries that packed as many Democrats as possible into a handful of districts that they easily won, leaving the remaining districts with Republican majorities. Armed with sophisticated geospatial software and a large budget, Republican operatives carefully drew maps that distributed Republicans as efficiently as possible across districts so as to win the maximum number of seats. There is much truth to this widely accepted account, but it provides an oversimplified and ultimately misleading answer to a complex question. Why cities lose demonstrates that the Democrats' problem with votes and seats goes much deeper and is far more intricate than the impact of a handful of political operatives in a room with a computer. Without a doubt, gerrymandering makes things worse for the Democrats, but their underlying problem can be summed up with the old real estate maxim: location, location, location. In most of Europe, legislators are chosen from large districts with multiple winners, and parties are represented in proportion to their share of the vote. In such a system, the geographic location of a party's support is not of primary importance. In the United States, legislators are elected from smaller districts where there is a single winner. In such a system, known as majoritarian democracy, the geography of a party's support is extremely important. In many U.S. states, Democrats are now concentrated in cities in such a way that even when districts are drawn without regard for partisanship, their seat share will fall well short of their vote share. It matters a great deal how the districts are drawn, and by whom, but because of where Democrats live, the very existence of winner-take-all geographic districts has facilitated the systemic underrepresentation of Democrats. To understand the roots of this phenomenon, it is important to grasp the deeper problem that gave rise to it: our highly polarized partisan geography. To see why the contemporary Democratic Party so often loses with the system of winner-take-all districts, we must first comprehend how Democrats and cities came to be synonymous. Why cities lose explains the rise of contemporary urban-rural polarization, a trend that is worrisome for the stability and health of American democracy, regardless of one's partisan or ideological perspective, and then reveals how this development has affected political representation. The rise of urban-rural polarization over the last century is striking. Figure 1 is a plot based on county-level data from 100 years of U.S. presidential elections, excluding the states of the Deep South. The horizontal axis represents the population density of each county. Higher numbers indicate that a county is more urban. The vertical axis represents the share of the presidential vote received by the Democratic candidate. The relatively flat dotted line indicates that in 1916, Woodrow Wilson's support was no higher in urban counties than in rural counties. After the New Deal and World War II, the dashed line indicates that John F. Kennedy's vote share in 1960 was strongly correlated with population density. He lost in most rural counties and won solid majorities in most urban counties. And the solid line indicates that by 2016, the urban concentration of Hillary Rodham Clinton's support was astounding. She lost by large margins in rural counties and won overwhelming majorities in urban counties. By the early part of the 21st century, the Democrats had become an almost exclusively urban political party. From coast to coast, their support is now concentrated in the downtown cores and inner suburbs of cities. Democrats have come to dominate not only large cities like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, but also medium-sized cities like Reading, Pennsylvania. They have come to dominate not only knowledge economy hubs like Seattle and San Francisco that are gaining population,